What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan from Adelante's Diverse IT, and today I hope to simplify another solution for you. Today I want to look at evaluating results of a Google search. Is this a good Google research? Is this reliable information? Is it an advertisement? Is it coming from the web? Is it coming from the App Store? And ultimately, is this something that's going to add value to your life or that you're going to want to engage or spend your money on? So let's go ahead and take a look. At the end of this class, what I'm hoping that you'll know are what are ratings, reviews, stars, the authenticity, and what's the people also ask section of Google. Is a review online or is it in the App Store? Are you going to be able to identify that easily? And is it a good review or should we keep on looking? So each one of these, I kind of want to put through those two lastly, that last question, is it a good review or should we keep on looking? So let's go ahead and start by actually taking a look at a review. I want to start together. We are going to go ahead and enter a review right now. What I want to do is do Selflane, and I'm going to add the word review. Selflane, for those of you who may not know, is a food delivery service. So it's kind of similar to Grubhub or DoorDash, which we're actually going to talk about here in a little bit. But first, all we're going to do is enter Selflane and review into our Google search and take a look what it brings up. First area it's going to kind of bring up is going to be the App Store. Doesn't look like there's too many reviews out there for Selflane, predominantly because it's probably a local Albuquerque company, but let's take a look at a couple different areas where you might be able to obtain some reviews. So you notice in the address for it says facebook.com selflane-reviews. So ultimately, we could take a look here. If we were to click here, it is going to give us some information in the review section. Unfortunately, I do not have a Facebook account, so we can't go ahead and take a look at that in too in depth, but a couple different things. There's a star system, very similar to a rating system. So they're getting 3.0 out of 5 stars. And then it looks like some people are giving their review here. Me personally, I don't do social media, so be careful for whatever review that you take a look at through social media, because there is a chance that it may not be legitimate or might not be the best review that you're looking there for. But let's go back here. I did want to point out something else. It does have apps in the apple.com app Selflane, another area where it's a rating system here, so 3.1 out of 5 ratings. It also says there's 51 reviews. It's a free application, but it's available for iOS. If I were to click on it in the browser, it wouldn't actually take us to anything that we could take a look at, but I did get some screenshots of what this would actually look at like. So let's take a look at what it looks like for the reviews in the App Store. So first we'd have to go to the App Store on your iPhone, and you would go ahead and search Selflane. You'll notice right in the middle there, you'll see a section there that has 51 ratings. And again, that rating system of stars, 3.1 out of a 5-star area. If you were to go ahead and click on the rating section, it's actually going to take you to the ratings portion. This is what it actually took us to when we see here. You'll see again that it has that big, bold 3.1 out of 5 stars. Kind of gives you an aggregate of what it looks like through a visual representation, the total number of ratings that have been applied, and then it has a sorted by section. And sorted by section will actually give you several different choices. Let's take a look at what those look like briefly. And if I were to open that menu, you see that it gives you most helpful, most favorable, most critical, or most recent. I'm personally always partial for the most recent. I want to know what's going on with that company here and now. So let's go ahead and take a look what that might look like. When we search the most recent, you'll see somebody here that may not have gotten the best experience on February 7th. Needless to say, on February 6th, it looks like somebody else got a great experience. So what you'll have to do, and the same thing I recommend, is that you read through these and kind of get a average or a feel for the store. Some people might have been a jerk to the restaurant. Some people might have had just an adverse experience with the people there. Some people might have a great experience. Some people, since it is a food delivery service, might be blaming it on the delivery person and not the actual restaurant. So there's actually a bunch of factors that you need to kind of consider when determining, is this a good review? So for our section here today, let's take a look. It did include some ratings, had some reviews. Our rating system was based on stars, but the ratings I actually provided at a 0.1 out of, or excuse me, 3.1 out of 5, and then the total number of ratings. All of these had to be authentic because you have to be a user to provide a rating. And the people also asked section is not applicable to this particular rating, but we'll see again here in a moment. In this particular review, we did find something online through Facebook, and but we did find a little bit more information through the App Store. All in all, by using both references, we can determine if it's a good review or a good place of business, or should we keep looking? I think based on the two different sources, online and the App Store, that this is a good review. So let's go ahead and continue and take a look at what another review might look like. So in this one, I'm going to go ahead and put Grubhub review Albuquerque for my search. And what comes up here? Actually, the very first one is going to be Glassdoor. Glassdoor is a hiring service. And again, they're going to go ahead and provide the stars of the #1 ratings. And it also looks to appear to have a voting system. If we were to click on this, again, this is a hiring or employment service. So these reviews may not necessarily have been about the service received from Grubhub, but people who were employed by Grubhub. In this particular instance, if that is something that you might be interested in, it will kind of give you that average or aggregate again. 76% of would recommend them to a friend, 94% approve of the CEO, etc. And then you'll see some of the benefits. You'll again have to go ahead. You'll see some more stats about it. And then ultimately some reviews down here. I've been working for Grubhub for less than a year. Flexible hours, work whenever you want. Scheduling system is a little annoying. So again, that's from an employee perspective. Let's actually take a look at what else Google has to say when we did the Grubhub reviews in Albuquerque. So now we're back at our original search page where it says Grubhub review Albuquerque. The people ask section to me is also very valuable because it gives you different perspectives of ways of acquiring information about the topic that you're interested in. In this particular case, it's going to be a Grubhub review. So is delivering for Grubhub worth it? You can expand on that section and kind of get some recent feedback there. You'll notice this is from January 15th, 2021, so that's fairly recent. Do Grubhub drivers make good money? So it kind of gives you some information about some averages according to Glassdoor, Indeed, and some other employment services. But see how the people also ask is another way to kind of get more information similar to a review about the topic that you're looking for. Now, lastly, we also have Indeed, which is another employment service. What may be more valuable, and I don't have the exact same example for this one, is in the App Store, where people can give their review of the service that they received through Grubhub. I do want to take a look at another example, very similar. We're still sticking to the food delivery service, maybe because I'm hungry, or I just think it's going to be a good lead into our next particular topic. So let's take a look. This is another review of a food delivery service, but in this particular one, I switched up my words and I also added reviews. So what I mean by I switched up by my words, before I had Grubhub review Albuquerque. In this particular one, I have DoorDash Albuquerque reviews. So now when I enter that, let's see what kind of different information I may be able to obtain. The first thing that I want you to see, because this one is the top results, but it's not anything of what I'm looking for. It's actually just matching the word DoorDash, but it's an advertisement. Anytime you see the ad there, in this particular example, it doesn't show up, but if you saw a review or some ratings and it started with the ad, that's a clear indication that's not a legitimate review. That's something that someone is paid for. So take that information with it as valuable as you may see it, but again, it is information that you paid for, or someone is paid to place that in the browser. So again, we have Indeed results, which would be results from an employer perspective, more Indeed and Glassdoor results. I want to go ahead and actually see though what people think about DoorDash from a delivery service. So let's say I want to see DoorDash Yelp, which is another great way to go ahead and obtain some reviews about information. What does Yelp have? Notice again, our first two results are advertisements once again, but down here, we have a perspective from a user. DoorDash, a lot of times you have to be, Yelp, sometimes you have to be a user, so it may be a little bit more difficult to obtain the information, but again, we have a rating system, so we have 1.5 stars, a total of 292 reviews. We'd have to get into the details section there, and it actually will give us a nice little monthly trend. Yelp ratings since 2019 with a total of 292. But again, Yelp sometimes is detailed or limited with their details of the information because they'd like you to join their service to obtain the information. There's one other area that I want to dive into briefly, and that's going to be what if we say DoorDash Google review. Maybe that Google is staying out of the review business when it comes to food delivery. Let's try one other type. Sometimes it's a lot more valuable if you're doing something more specific like a restaurant instead of a particular service. So we're not going to do a restaurant. I want to do the repair shop. So let's go ahead and do Diverse IT Adelante. Take a look at what reviews from the Google review portion might take a look like. In this particular area, you'll see it'll bring up what we're looking for, the website that we're here. What I really want to point off is the section to the right here, where it gives you some very valuable information like a link directly to the website, directions to it, if you'd like to save it, if you'd like to get their information again. But once again, the review will go ahead and give you that star rating system and the total number of reviews that are there. If you click in that review section, once again, it has some of the same things that were similar to the App Store. Most prevalent, newest, highest rating, lowest rating, etc. As you scroll through here, you'll be able to get some information. I like Google reviews a lot because they'll also can be commonly responses from the business owner. So it's very engaging, can be very valuable, and kind of gets a honest insight into both the user's perspective and often the owner's perspective. So in this particular instance, how would I say the Google reviews fit into this? Honestly, one of my favorites. It incorporates the ratings, the reviews, stars. You generally can tell it's authenticity because you might even see the exchange between the customer and the owner. Didn't necessarily encompass the people also asked section for the Diverse IT shop review, but you saw that was pretty common for the like Grubhub and DoorDash reviews when it was giving you other suggestions about the employee perspective. In this particular instance, our review was online for the repair store, but I'm sure those delivery services had better reviews or more in-depth reviews similar to Selflane in the App Store. And is the Google review a great review, or should we keep on looking? Me personally, I think it's one of the best reviews. So normally, if I can obtain the information from the Google review, I'm definitely not keeping looking. Once again, this is Jordan from Adelante's Diverse IT. I hope I simplified another solution for you by evaluating the results of a Google search. I look forward to working with you next time, and I'll see you another time. Thanks.